Statue of Liberty. Symbol of freedom and the question. What is freedom and who really has the right to hold up the torch of the Statue of Liberty? The Statue of Liberty, or Liberty Enlightening the World, is one of the most famous symbols of the United States. Not only representing the spirit of liberty but also a testament to the historical relationship between France and the United States. Awarded by France in 1886, the statue is not only a diplomatic gift but also carries with it a profound philosophical significance of freedom, human rights and enlightenment. However, in the modern context, when the notions of freedom are being challenged by global issues such as inequality, authoritarian politics, and social polarization, the question, who really has the right to hold the torch of freedom, becomes more urgent than ever. Statue of Liberty. A symbol with many meanings. The Statue of Liberty is not only a work of art but also a political and philosophical symbol. Designed by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, with a skeleton made by the famous engineer Gustave Eiffel, the statue depicts a woman in a robe, holding a torch high in her right hand and a plaque engraved with the date of the signing of the American Declaration of Independence in her left hand, July 4, 1776. The statue's feet step on broken chains, symbolizing liberation from oppression. However, the significance of the statue does not stop at the historical aspect. The Statue of Liberty also represents a global ideal of freedom and human rights. The torch that the statue holds high not only illuminates America, but also the world, as a reminder of the universal value of freedom. But is this value really universal? Or is it just an ideal built by powerful states, in order to serve their own interests? Freedom in a historical and modern context. When the Statue of Liberty was erected, the United States was emerging as a global power, with the ideals of democracy and freedom widely promoted. For immigrants arriving in the U.S. through New York Harbor, the statue is a symbol of hope and a new beginning. However, history also shows that freedom in the United States is not always guaranteed to everyone. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, when the statue stood in New York Harbor, the United States still faced problems such as slavery, racism, gender inequality, and the suppression of labor movements. This begs the question, is the freedom that the Statue of Liberty represents really available to everyone? Or only to a privileged group of people? In the modern context, as the world faces challenges such as populism, the rise of authoritarian regimes, and the decline of civil liberties, the question of the true meaning of freedom becomes even more complicated. Western nations, including the United States, often see themselves as beacons of freedom. But do they really implement these values in their domestic and foreign policies? Who has the right to hold the torch of freedom? The question, who has the right to hold the torch of freedom, is not only a philosophical question but also a political one. In an increasingly polarized world, the concept of freedom is no longer understood in a unified way. Freedom and political power. Freedom is often associated with power. Powerful states, such as the United States, often use the concept of freedom to justify their actions on the international stage. During the Cold War, for example, the United States used the liberal ideal to confront the Soviet Union. But at the same time, it also supported authoritarian regimes as long as they served American interests. This shows that freedom is not always a universal value, but that it is sometimes turned into a political tool. Global freedom and inequality. While developed countries pride themselves on liberal values, many developing countries still face poverty, inequality, and outside interference. Do the people of these countries really enjoy freedom? Or are they just victims of an unfair global system? Individual and collective freedom. Another question related to freedom is the balance between individual freedom and collective freedom. In a democratic society, individual freedom is valued, but this sometimes leads to conflicts with collective interests. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many people in the West rejected public health measures because they thought they violated personal freedoms. This begs the question, should individual freedom take precedence over the collective good? Freedom, an ideal that needs to be redefined. The Statue of Liberty is a powerful symbol, but it also raises tough questions about the true meaning of freedom. In a rapidly changing world where traditional values are being challenged, we need to redefine freedom to meet the needs and challenges of the times. Freedom is not just an abstract concept, it is a living reality that affects the lives of billions of people around the world. And to ensure that freedom is truly a universal value, we need to confront the injustices and inequalities that still exist. Only then will the torch of the Statue of Liberty truly shine for everyone, not just for the privileged few. The Statue of Liberty, in all its beauty and meaning, is not only a symbol of the past but also a reminder of our responsibility to build a more just and free world. And the question, who has the right to hold the torch of freedom, will continue to be a question that every generation must answer.